Welcome to a video where I'm going to go over the basic program that I hope to launch right about June 2024 or so. Now, some of you have watched these videos before. This is years behind when I thought I was really going to launch this program. But for a number of different reasons, it keeps getting delayed. And right now, June of 2024 is actually a target date. I'm going to go through this more at a high level, and then periodically I'll be redoing this video. That's why I have a date on here, just to update you as we go along. Because those of you that are watching the videos now, whether it's the daily, weekly videos, what have you, if you want to take this to the next level, I do have a program to offer to you that I hope will be of real benefit to you, but I'd like to get some feedback. I've been an educator for a long time. A lot of the ideas that I've implemented over the years have originated from people who've been in classes that I've taught. And a lot of the things that I do in this program have also originated elsewhere. But I just want to go through this a little bit just to give you an idea of what I'm trying to do. First of all, my name is John R. Clay. My father was the same name, but he had a different middle name. That's why I like to use the R just to differentiate between us. I've been an educator for almost 40 years. In fact, I'm kind of starting my 40th year right now in 2024. It's a real passion of mine. I've been involved in a lot of different environments. Right now, I also teach Chinese children English online. So I teach them the ABCs and how to count to 10. I was also a Microsoft certified trainer for a long period of time. And I taught DNS and Active Directory and all this geeky stuff and everywhere in between. So I've taught all age levels, all skill levels. And I just love being an educator no matter what I'm doing. I've been a market participant for over 30 years. This started as a hobby for me back in the early to mid 90s. It's just something that I'm like, okay, this is kind of interesting. Well, I found myself diving into this more and more, and I read all the books I could find. There was very limited software available at that time, but I would pick that up and start playing with it. And over the course of time, I learned more and more, and I would go to, at that time, seminars. And then later on, as the internet evolved, there would be webinars. And through that, I just decided, okay, I'm an educator. I know a lot about this stuff. Maybe I can benefit other people by actually sharing what I know. I am from the Seattle area, and I lived for a while in Florida and in Southern California as well, but most of my life has been spent in the Seattle area over on the west coast of the US. But I'm currently residing in a country called Belarus. You may have never heard of that. I had to break out the map before I came here. And just to give you an idea, here is a map, and I have a circle around Belarus. You may notice something kind of interesting right here. There's a country called Russia on this map. There's also another country called Ukraine. And if you know anything about what's going on in the news, these two countries aren't getting along with each other all that well. And Belarus is kind of stuck in the middle. And Belarus is pretty much taking the side of Russia and with Putin. So that means that it's kind of hard for an American to live here. But for right now, where I'm at, it's safe. Really, nothing has escalated. Everything has been happening between Russia and Ukraine, but that could change at any time. And that's one of the reasons for delaying this program, thinking, okay, I might have to just grab what I can grab and get out of here as soon as I can. But for right now, things are quiet, they're peaceful. It's a pretty calm place to live, but that could change. So I just want to make everybody aware of that. And I may not be able to give much notice if something like that ends up happening. Here's the program. It's called the SPX Investing Program. SPX is one of the symbols for the S&P 500, and everything I do is centered around the S&P 500 itself. The program that I want to offer is based on a monthly membership. And the reason for talking about it now is I'm trying to appeal to your intellect and logic. I know there's all this kind of advertising stuff out there. And if you watch my videos for any length of time, I'm kind of rebellious in a lot of ways. If somebody says to do it this way, I try to do it the other way. Just as an example, since I taught for Microsoft, I had to use a lot of PowerPoint. And that's kind of the basis for these videos. I've used PowerPoint so much that I've become so accustomed to using it when I was lecturing for 6, 7, 8 hours at a time. I just brought that over into when I talk about what's going on in the stock market. Well, they have this best practices for using PowerPoint. And I went through that and okay, this is interesting. And then at the end of the class, my attitude was, okay, now I know how not to do things. I want to do them my way. I want to change things around. Now, that didn't make Microsoft very happy, but hey, the students seem to like that. And it's a method that I've been able to adopt. These are my notes that I'm looking at. For the most part, when I do a video, it's all take one. That's why you get my stumbles and fumbled words, and I have to clear my throat from time to time. In fact, this is a take one video now, so I might have to clear my throat or something here. But what I'm trying to do is tell you this over a period of time, let you think about it, instead of using the whole advertising approach. It says, oh, reel them in on their emotions, work on that fear and greed, make them think like if they don't act right now, they're going to miss an opportunity that they're going to regret the rest of their lives. Okay, that's the way the world might do it. I want to do it where I'm looking at people who really want to learn more about this, who are teachable, who can teach me some things, and we can work together to make this happen. So I'm completely upfront about what I do. I don't really have anything to hide here. And so if I find something good, a good piece of information, you as a member, you'll have access to that. If there's a book that I suggest that you should read, some videos on YouTube or a person on YouTube that maybe you should tune into, I'll recommend that. I have no problem about doing that. And I feel that we've really lost this idea of critical thinking, especially in American society. And that was one of my frustrations as an educator. It's like people want to be told what to do. And that's what we're bombarded with, that in the media and even in movies and books. And we're just said, this is what you have to think. This is what you have to believe. And if you don't think or believe that, we're going to pretty much ostracize you. I reject all that. It's like, okay, my approach is you look at the positives, you look at the negatives, and then together you reach a conclusion yourself. And if you're right, you get to enjoy the benefits of that. If you're wrong, well, then you have to take responsibility for that and hopefully learn both from success and from failure as you go through this whole process. And in that, I like to be completely upfront and honest. You'll hear in my videos that I rarely make any kind of an opinion type statement. I'm just trying to present the information. Now, at the end of it, I reach a conclusion. You may come to a different conclusion. And some of you have. You leave comments on the daily videos where you don't necessarily conclude the same thing that I'm concluding at any given time. And that's what I want. And that's okay. And we can agree to disagree and still work together. It's not one of this, okay, you're going to do it my way or the highway kind of approaches. I will still what I do each day. And I don't necessarily need to do this, okay? I want to do this. I'm an educator. That is something that I do need to do. I need to share information. I teach history, and right now I'm teaching English. I've taught economics. I teach about the stock market. That's a passion that I really have, and I want to share what I know with you. Also, and please remember, I'm a guide. I'm not trying to start a religion here. I'm not a mentor. I'm not a guru. I'm not somebody to, you know, say, well, what is John saying? Is he saying buy or sell? Is he saying to get in or get out of that? I don't do that. In fact, the whole program is designed around you to come to those conclusions yourselves. And that's going to take a little bit longer, and it's going to take more effort on your part, but it's also going to teach you a skill that you can develop for the rest of your life and then possibly even pass on to others. Then please feel free. I keep the videos on YouTube and on Rumble. Go back and look at my videos. Look at what I was saying back when we were really having trouble in 2022. I started posting the videos on YouTube in early 2022. So I've now gone over 1,000 videos that I posted on the YouTube channel and the Rumble channel. I also have a course on there. It's a basic course that's free to take. It's a little bit outdated now, but you're welcome to go through that. And go back and look at times in the market and what was happening and go through some of the videos that I was posting at that time and see what I was saying. Did I get it right? Did I get it wrong? And then see if you can find some value in what I'm trying to do. Okay, here's the program. And this is what I'm thinking for right now. And this has been in my mind for decades. I started this program about 20 years ago, and it's going quite well. And I still have folks that I'm working with. But then when I made the move from the US over to Belarus, I stopped everything and I wanted to rebuild everything from the ground up and then relaunch it again. I'm looking at $97 per month. Now, if you're balking at that right away, hang on, because I still have some things to talk to you about concerning that. There are some ways that you can actually not pay every month. But so just hang on for a while and I'll go through that. Now, some people are going to say $97 a month. That's not very much. I mean, that's a drop in the bucket. I could easily charge a lot more than that. And if I charged, there I go with my throat clearing. And if I charged what I probably should charge, nobody could end up affording it. But the idea here is to make it accessible to most people, but yet make it so that I don't get a lot of people that aren't, it's like, well, let's give this a try. It's only $10 a month or something. Those people end up wasting your time after a while. I want to make it so that at least there's some commitment behind it. Then this is what you'll get as part of the program. I post the daily, weekly, and all the other videos right now. As soon as I record them, I upload them to YouTube and Rumble, and bam, everybody has access to those. One of the things that I'm thinking of doing, and if you have a problem with this, let me know. And as I record this, I've heard back from a couple of people saying, yeah, I think that's a great idea. Someone else said, well, can you find another way around this? You'll have first access to the daily and all the videos that I post. Now, what that means is as soon as I record it, that's available to members. And then what I'm thinking of doing is like if I do the video from Monday, and then once the market closes on Monday, that's when the video will turn over into a public video and then anybody can watch it. Right now, about half of the folks that watch the videos that I upload it's after the market closes. I still want to be able to promote what I'm doing and have people have access to that. But if you want to have first access to this, you'll be a member, at least up until the time the market closes. You'll also have exclusive access to online courses. These are additional courses. Now, I have one free course on YouTube. This goes beyond that. And if you were to add all of this up together, it's well over 100 hours. And these are self-paced, pre-recorded sessions that you have access to. You can go back and listen to them again. You can do it at your own pace. If there's some area that you need a little bit of a refresher on, you can go back and watch those areas. You also have exclusive access to any supplemental videos that I do. Sometimes there are extra things that are happening beyond all the videos that I upload. Something happening in the economy, there's some kind of an event that happens that has an impact on the stock market, and I may do an extra video about that. You'll have access to those. And there are also workshops and mini courses. These are mainly broken down according to time. If it's a workshop, it's usually 2 hours or less. If it's a mini course, it's usually a little over 2 hours. And I do some breakout courses from time to time, and you will have exclusive access to those. You'll also have exclusive access to a member-only blog, and I'm not quite sure how that's going to work right now. I've been trying to start a private Facebook group, but it's just not happening. We've got a lot of folks that don't even use Facebook. I'm trying to come up with some kind of a method. So if you have, whether it's Discord or something, if you have any feedback on that or maybe suggestions, maybe I could run a blog through the website that I'm rebuilding as well, let me know. All right. And you'll also have access to extra videos. These are just different trading and investing ideas that I may run across from time to time. But everything is usually restricted right to the S&P 500. Like I have a sample portfolio. I go through and based on the conclusion that I've reached in each daily video, that determines what strategies I implement. Now, the strategies you learn about in the online courses. So then we can say, okay, this is what the market's doing. Based on what the market's doing right now, these are the strategies that we can implement, and these are the rules that we want to follow to set up that particular position. And then we know well beforehand everything that we're going to do. And we know, okay, when we get this percentage of a profit or this level of a profit, we're going to get out. Then we also have community discussions area. Now, I know this is a little different than some other types of programs where I'm not necessarily trying to build a community for you to be pals with each other. Your focus is mainly what's going on in the market. And I'm kind of the focal point of what you want to learn about. But hey, you never know. You might end up having some discussions and meet some other people, become friends, and that can always be a good thing as well. But we can come together and you can post things usually by typing. and just saying, yeah, this was a bad position. What did I do wrong? People can interject their thoughts, or I had something really successful happen and we can congratulate you, and then other people can learn from that. And then I also have scheduled and non-scheduled debrief sessions. These are more live, where I'll just record a video, and maybe once a day or once every couple of days or over the weekend, I'll just say, okay, from this time to this time, I'm going to go live, and you as a member, come on in and let's just talk about things. Let's talk about the week. Let's talk about any positions that you opened or that you closed, or success or frustrations that you're having. Just a chance to kind of have a little bit of support. And then if something really strange happens, I may have a non-scheduled type of session as well, because things can get really confusing really quickly. Also, you'll have an opportunity to have one-on-one sessions with me. Now, I talk about Zoom here, but we can use Skype, we can use Messenger. I don't really use FaceTime, but if it comes down to that, I will start using it. But we can do it audibly. We can do it through email if you want to just do it by text. We can do it by actually using video. And notice I don't put a time limit on here. And I don't say, it really gets me. These people that say, oh, you get one 15-minute free consultation. It's like, what made you so important to only limit my time with you to 15 minutes? I just don't agree with that. My attitude is this: you take the amount of time that it requires to do what you're trying to do. If you can find an answer to a situation and it takes 5 minutes, great. If it takes 5 hours, great. You do what you need to do until you achieve some results that make you feel good about things. And some of these sessions may end up being kind of short. Some of them may be longer. And these are more one-on-one. And we can also go beyond the S&P 500 at that point. And I'm not a stockbroker, and I'm not necessarily an expert in other areas, because for the last 25 years now, have pretty much just focused on the S&P 500 itself. You want to talk about crypto, you want to talk about gold, and I cover those markets. But for me, and I can take the skills that I'm going to teach you in the class and we can transfer those over, but actually knowing a lot about those individual markets is not something that's really my area of expertise. Now, be careful of this one, though, with these one-on-one sessions. If the program really grows the way I hope it will, this is going to get a little more restrictive. Now, it's a lot easier for me to have a one-on-one session with folks. But if a lot of members start to really get active, I may get to the point where I have to put up a calendar and schedule some time and so forth. But for right now, that's one of the things that I have planned. Now, you may be the kind of person where it's like, I don't know, this doesn't interest me. I just want to listen to what you have to say, watch the videos, and I don't really want to participate, but I just want to take in all the information that you have. See, that's what I would be if I was a member in this program. I don't care about one-on-one sessions. I can make these decisions myself, but I want to know about the information that's going on. Then you'll also have access to live online and in-person courses. Now, I do pre-record the classes, but from time to time, I may put together a live class. And we'll kind of work together and say, okay, this is what I'm going to cover, and it'll be streamed, and you'll have access to that. It'll also be recorded, so you can go back and look at that and review it and watch it at a later time if you want to. And I haven't focused on this too much, but I am willing to do in-person courses. If you live in the Chicago area and we can get a few people together to justify putting on a class that lasts a week or 2 weeks or whatever, maybe in the evenings or maybe during business hours, maybe over the weekend for a period of time, I'd have no problem doing that. Now, that's not the main focus of what I do, but it is something that I am available to do. And then automatic enrollment in the affiliate program, you can use this if you desire. This is where I go back to the very beginning, where I say $97 a month. This is what I have in mind, and I've thought about this literally for years. Okay, let's say you know somebody else who might be interested in this program. If that person becomes involved, for every month they are involved, half of that $97 is credited to you that they pay. If you get two people involved, the full $97 is credited to you. And now, for getting two people involved, you now have your membership paid for. And every month that those people stay in good standing, your membership fee would be covered by helping to spread the word about this program. You don't have to do this, but if you want to, if $97 is a lot of money and you do know some people, now be careful, because if they drop out, that means that, if one of the persons drops out, that means that half of this now is going to fall back on you. Okay. And I'll try to stay on top of that to give you plenty of warning if something like that happens. Now, you can even go beyond this. If you want to maybe get 10 people involved, and the first 2 you use to cover your membership, and now the rest of those, that can generate consistent monthly income for you. I'm not much of a salesman, and so I'm willing to let people maybe go out that do have more of that inclination. And if you want to promote the program and you see some value in it, there's a way that you can be compensated for doing that. So there is a way for that to be covered. Also, I go through a plan each day. Now, these may be pre-recorded where I go through and I say, okay, here's the whole plan. This is what things are looking at based on the daily video. I have a whole PDF where I fill everything out, and we come up with our plan while the market is closed, looking at the types of positions or the types of strategies that you want to implement. And then we keep a journal over that over a period of time. And everybody's going to be a little bit different because people may do slightly different things. But this is something so you can go back and look at this over time, and we can compare notes if we get together in a one-on-one session or when we have a community discussion or something like that, and we can pick out the positives and the negatives from that. And then I'm going to be preparing an additional video that goes more in depth, like why I only focus on the S&P and more of what's involved in the program. This is just kind of a high-level introduction for right now. So how did I get about doing these videos? I actually started this about 24 years ago now, and I did them for myself because I realized that if I really wanted to focus on the S&P 500, there's so much information. There's so much out there, and it's hard to just stick all this in my brain. I need a way of organizing this. And so writing, talking, and then doing videos are methods that I use to process information. If I have a lot of ideas in my head, I might go start writing something, or I may talk about it to another person. Well, one way that I found is I would record these videos and then I would be the only one watching them, but it put everything together and kind of presented it in a way as though a million people were going to be watching this video. So I had to be pretty good at it, at least treat it with respect. And then this really was a turning point for me. And I was able to understand and kind of put the big picture together instead of getting focused just on little details. Then this allowed for enormous amounts of information to be organized. I had to put it together in a way that even though I was just presenting it to myself, I treated it as though a lot of people would be watching this. And then I had to present it in a coherent manner. And then I have to use all of the information. You don't want to just pick and choose. It's not a buffet, just where you use bits and pieces. And then it helped me reach more confident conclusions that way. And then from there, I developed a plan, and it really led to consistent success. And then everything is taken one day at a time. Yes, I do a weekly video. Yes, I do the intermarket analysis video and the what to watch video and the deep dive video. But my approach is one day at a time. Even though that day is boring, there may not be anything that's happening. I know people are busy, but the way I approach things is that we just reevaluate this. I figured intraday is too fast. You can't really evaluate things on what happens inside of the trading day. If you wait a week, that's usually too long. And I found that just reevaluating things day after day after day is the best approach. And that's why I post videos every day, even when it's a real boring day. Then later, I would post these videos on a private website for others to watch. And that's kind of how things evolved from that point. And then it has since then evolved into the idea behind this program. So thank you. This is all I want to explain for right now. If this interests you, please let me know. You can send me an email. Here's an email address right here. If you want to keep it more private, if there's a comment that you want to make, that's good. But just realize other people are going to be able to see that. And so choose. If you want to talk about this, you want to set up a time to have an audio conversation or maybe a video conversation, we can certainly do that. But please be in mind that I'm in Eastern Europe, and that's it's 10 hours different now from the West Coast of the US and 7 hours different. I'm ahead as far as time is concerned when you look at the East Coast. So we have to kind of keep that in mind as well. Have a great day. I hope you found some value in this video, and I will be posting this again at some point in the future. And I'll talk to you probably in the next daily video.